Cool. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello and welcome to the Play World Cup. I am Jason.
And I'm Matt.
We have a special guest, Matt, filling in for James, who is over in Japan at the moment, living it up, getting all, what do you call those, Harajuku girls? He's going that style, I think, while he's over there.
Yeah, Harajuku's a fun place.
Yeah. So yeah, we're changing the format, I guess, the casting format a little bit while he's over there. So we'll hop right into this game. At the moment, we are looking at another ZVC. We've had a lot of mirror matches this season of the Play World Cup. So this game is going to be between Nightfly versus Transmax. This is actually the second game. They've already played the first one with Transmax taking that game out. So we're moving into game 2. And at the moment, we're looking at Singularity, who is the blue Zerg playing for Transmax. His opponent will be GENAB, playing for Nightfly, also as the Zerg, but as a lovely red color. And the map they're playing on is Korhal Compound.
Yeah, GENAB just ended a double extractor trick. Not just a one extractor trick, but a double.
Double extractor, getting to 12 drones. That's nice.
Yep.
Nice and fancy.
It's an interesting way to do it. I'm not a Zerg player myself, but looking at the units tab, he's actually down on drones, even though he's done that. So I'm not entirely sure whether that was the best idea, but okay. Interesting to get his thoughts on that at some point.
Yeah, I think it's gonna like sort of zigzag and seesaw, because then when you look at it now, he's now up.
He's up ahead, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I actually don't know what the most economic opening is drone-wise, or whether each one makes that much of a difference. Like, I think the most standard one's probably Overlord on 9, and then you sort of just keep droning up from there. But yeah, I don't actually know what works out best.
I might have to ask a couple of my friends about that one. And we've got Singularity going for a reasonably early pool. I think it was about a 14 pool. And we've got GENAB going for a hatch first on 13. So, and his pool's just gone down as well. So, be interesting to see what Singularity does now that he's seen that his opponent's expanding.
And he's going to expand himself first. Yeah, his pool has now finished, but instead of pumping out a bunch of lings, he's instead choosing to drop down that hatchery. So maybe wanting to try and keep up in that econ game rather than pump out a bunch of lings right now and take down that hatch.
I think that's kind of the decision, really. You've got two choices. You can either try and keep up on eco, or you can just try and kill them outright. And I think it's kind of neat that I think on the first game, GENAB expanded straight away as well. It's like he's almost asking Singularity, are you confident enough to kill me straight out?
Yeah. Well, I think it definitely puts the pressure on both players, but it puts the pressure on Singularity, because he's then got to decide one way or another what he's going to do. Whereas GENAB's made his decision and is letting Singularity make the call.
Yeah, absolutely. GENAB's like, my micro is pretty good. I can hold on.
I reckon I'll make it. I'll drop it fine. I'll be fine. And we see that they're both researching speed. GENAB started his just a touch earlier, but I think in the grand scheme of things, they're both going to finish up at about the same time. Although GENAB also dropping a Baneling nest, and it doesn't look like we have Banelings or anything of the sort on the way yet for Singularity.
Yeah, Singularity was saying that he likes to play that Stefano kind of style, very very ling heavy, ling infester roach kind of deal.
Yep.
I think GENAB's probably more of a kind of a normal Zerg player with Banelings and Lings to start off with, probably into roach meter later.
Yep. Use that Baneling Ling micro, which can be so punishing if you can get just a few good Banes off into a massive ball of Zerglings.
Oh, it's the worst thing. I've seen some of my friends play ZVZ, and they look away for 1 second and a Bane and kills all their Lings, and it's like, oh,
GG.
GG. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. As much as I hate Terran versus Terran, because they're such like long drawn out matches half the time, I think I would hate playing ZVZ a lot more, just because of how ridiculous it can end. Like, one Baneling can literally change the whole game.
I've heard it described as a knife fight. I think that's a pretty good analogy.
Yeah, I actually think that is a good analogy. And here we might be seeing actually some Banelings in action, I think. Singularity is pushing into the base. He's actually got a lot more Lings out than GENAB, but those... Oh, jeez.
There we go. Perfect example.
Perfect example. That was one Baneling for basically that entire army.
That was 22. Was that 22 lings at that point? And GENAB did a great job in blocking the ramp there with the 2 queens too.
Yep.
He's got Singularity's following up with more lings because he knows that GENAB doesn't have a lot on his army at the moment.
Yep. GENAB making just maybe two banelings up in his main, so he's going to try and get another sweet hit on Singularity's lings, and I think Singularity might have noticed it. So now he's got to do... No. I was going to say he's going to do a little dance with those Zerglings to get away, but unfortunately losing them again.
Just hurts watching that, you know?
It does. But our Singularity is at least 4 drones ahead of GENAB, so even though he's put on a bit of pressure that it looks like GENAB's handled, I'd say pretty well, he's still a touch in front on those drones. Although just as I say that, GENAB pumped out a whole bunch.
Yeah, Singularity at the moment is making a whole bunch of spine coils in his main, which kind of accounts for some of the discrepancy.
Yep. And what's he's also going to go a Roach Warren, so not wanting to go into a Baneling Ling War himself, he's going to decide to instead counter those Banes with some Roaches.
Yeah, I think that's a really good move.
Yeah. It's probably what I'd do, just because I think, you know, microing Roaches against Banelings is a lot easier than microing Lings against them.
Yeah, absolutely. You really, you know, it forces GENAB too to make his Banelings count on the Lings rather than on the Roaches.
Yep. And I think, yeah, GENAB just got a sneaky Zergling into the main then, so he got a full scout out of Singularity's base, so saw that Roach Den, so knows that that's coming, so I guess now it's up to GENAB to see how he wants to respond to that.
And I actually think GENAB's going to go for a cheeky third here.
I think you might be right.
Just waiting for the minerals to count up. There we
Clicked
go.
over, and there it is, dropped. So seeing the Roaches and deciding, you know what, that seems like a safe enough time to drop an expansion.
And Singularity follows suit.
Oh, it does too, wow.
I really, really like the way Singularity has his overlords over the middle of the map. And he's coming in for a bit of a scout here to see what he's got. I really like that kind of... You really need to use that kind of vision aggressively. So even though he's going to lose the... Oh, is he going to lose it?
Oh,
yeah, he's going to lose it.
Yeah, clicking like a madman trying to get it back into the safe vision. But
move! Like if I click faster, it'll move faster.
It's like when you're supply blocked and you build 10 supply depots to get unblocked faster.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, the timing on Singularity's third was really nice as well, because he didn't have any vision of GENAB's, but you know, maybe just good game sense, or both players just dropping the third at good timings.
Absolutely.
So GENAB has a Hydralisk Den out. Both players upgrading the missile attacks, so might be seeing even a Roach vs Hydra war coming up.
That's an interesting choice. You know, there's no Banelings on Singularity's side, so I think Hydras do such a huge amount of DPS.
Yeah.
It's a good option against Roaches as long as you can keep them at distance, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many Hydras he actually gets. Like, is he expecting Singularity to try and go muter, or...
Yeah, perhaps, because I think if it was Roach, like, let's just say mass Roach versus mass Hydra, the Hydras would win, wouldn't they? Is their DPS enough to sort of outkill the tankiness of the Roach?
Quite possibly. And GENAB's just scouted Singularity's third as well.
Oh, nice. Sneaky Ling. So Singularity still has no vision of GENAB's, but I guess, you know, if you've built a third, it's probably pretty safe to assume that your opponent definitely could have.
Absolutely. Especially as he hasn't attacked now, you know, if he hasn't got like a massive army, you probably betting that he's droning like crazy.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. And Singularity has just finished his infestation pit. So he might be going for a Roach Infestor army. No Spire, so we're not going to be seeing any Muters. And yeah, he is starting that Pathogen Glands update, so upgrade, sorry. So he's not going for a fast hive or anything like that.
Oh. And as we see GENAB move out right now, he just supply blocks Singularity, which is the only problem of having Overlords over the middle of the map.
Yep, Singularity is actually going to lose a lot of these Overlords to these Hydralisks. It's going to be the third one.
That's terrible. When you've got so much money and so much lava and you can't do anything about it.
Yep. This is actually working out really well in GENAB's favour. So now he's free to drone and army up while Singularity's stuck building Overlords.
Although GENAB's just done another 15 Hydras. He's not droning at all at this point. He's going full army production.
Oh wow, and Singularity may be realising he's in a bit of strife here, so dropping a whole bunch of Spine Crawlers in at the front of his main. The Pathogen Glands upgrade just finishing off, so do we have any Infestors on the way? Because he might be able to get off some really nice fungal growths.
Not at the moment. He's going for Banelings right now, which is probably a good option against the Hydras.
Yeah.
Banelings are, Hydras are a bit like Marines in that they die very quickly to Banelings.
Very squishy.
Except they don't stutter step, which is probably a good thing for non-Zerg players.
Yeah, exactly. But Singularity losing his third, so GENAB, instead of hitting the front where those spines were, decided to duck down, take out that third, which is now putting himself in a pretty good position economically. Plus, the supply count there definitely favouring GENAB at the moment. So it's going to be... Singularity might have a little bit of trouble holding this if GENAB pushes in anytime soon.
We've got a couple of Infestors out now. We've got 42 Lings on the way. I think that's... With the Spine Crawlers, I think that's probably going to be enough if the Infestors get out in time.
Just need them to come. And really, Singularity wants to pull that army back. He doesn't want to engage the army outside of the range of these spines, I don't think.
I can't blame him, really. I think Singularity really wants to use the spines for defense.
Yep, definitely.
We've got a lot of Banelings being morphed in the bottom right corner of Singularity's natural.
That is a ton of Banelings. If he can get those Banelings out and roll it through this army, I think that's going to put him in a pretty good spot. Especially if, because GENAB's under the assumption here that there were no Banelings on the field and he's just sort of facing a whole bunch of Roaches. So he might not even be that prepared for a massive ball of Banelings.
And a massive run-by from Singularity is into GENAB's third right now.
Oh wow, taking out a lot of drones. GENAB realising unfortunately a little bit too late, trying to drop some Spine Crawlers, but that is not going to work. And he is definitely going to lose that third, and now what's he going to do with his army? Is he going to push in or pull back? I think he's going to just stick outside Singularity's base for a while.
I think Singularity must have cancelled the Infestors that we're building, because I can't see them on the Units tab.
No, I think they might have been building from the lava at his third. And so then when GENAB's units were there, he'd probably done the smart thing and cancelled them. And now looks like we're going to be seeing a bit of an engagement, and those Banelings definitely hitting the mark. Not enough to destroy that whole army, but definitely I think getting some nice cost efficiency off.
So many red Hydras right now.
Yep. And they're going to regenerate very slowly. Very, very slowly, actually.
So where these Hydras are right now, if Singularity can get those Infestors he's got up into the top right corner of his base, he can fungal the Hydras from the high ground right now.
That would actually be really cool. If he could fungal those Hydras and then roll in with the rest of his Banes and Roaches.
Yep.
That would actually work out definitely in Singularity's favour.
Or even just some infested Terrans down here. Invested Terrans, it's like bankers. Infested Terrans, and then just roll in the other army and give him an option of, well, which one do you fight?
Yep, tank some damage with those infested Terrans. And Singularity is actually catching up in that supply count. He's only 8 behind now, so whereas he was 30 to 40 behind previously.
He's actually got more drones at this point as well. I think he's got the better army composition now. I think with the Infestors, which are really important in ZVZ, I think Infestor, Roach, Baneling, I think definitely
is going to beat the Hydra
almost pure Hydra Baneling. So
yep. Yeah, I guess.
Well, the GENAB's... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder what GENAB... Yeah, where to from here? Like, do you go Mutas? But, I don't know, with the Infestors, you don't really want Mutas versus Infestors, because the Mutas clump up, and then you can get some sick fungal growths off, and just lose your entire army. I don't know what the transition is from Hydralisks.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, the thing with Mutas is you really need to... Yeah, keep them unclumped, but you're also sort of asking your opponent, can you fungal well enough to kill my Mutas? We've got a big engagement here as the Banelings run into the Roaches.
And then we see some fungal growths going off from Singularity. Those Hydras still getting Yeah, a few Banes hitting the mark, but oh, there's still a ton more Banes back in Singularity's base, so he needs to roll them up through those Hydras, and now that's exactly what he's doing.
Oh, it's like it's just a Zergageddon right now. It's just absolutely brutal.
Losing a ton of Hydras. Singularity needs to be careful and not lose all of those infestors and burrowing at the last minute. And now the supply lead. That fight definitely going in Singularity's favor. He's heading out with those roaches and the infestors. That's no, I might be bringing them back. No, is sort of a bit undecisive as what he's going to do, but that's not enough roaches to win the game. But he might at least just see what sort of damage he can do with them.
Absolutely, and these three infestors that are running around down here, I think if they don't get spotted pretty quickly, GENAB's going to lose these top two expansions here, and that's really not what you want at this point in the game when your main is almost completely mined out.
Yeah, and those expansions, his third and fourth have only just got up, and now these infested Terrans are going to pull them back down, I think. And this is a really nice move from Singularity, because as he's killing GENAB's expansions, he's dropping his own. So if he successfully killed the fourth, and I think the third is also going to go down. So that's going to give him a 2-base lead if he can hold on to his own 2 expansions that are going.
Absolutely, he's got an overseer, but it's with GENAB's got an overseer, but it's with his army at the moment, not out looking at where those infestors are. So
no, those Hydralisks killing a few overlords, but there's plenty of roaches back home, I think, to deal with this army. Singularity retreating, a smart retreating back into the cover of those spines. And pushing away GENAB's army. So what GENAB really needs to do here, I think, is scout that fourth that's just come up for Singularity and hit his third as well, just to try and stay even on bases, because the last thing he wants to do right now is let Singularity get ahead on that base count.
Absolutely. I mean, it all comes down to how much production you've got, how quickly you can reinforce, and with 4 bases to 2, you're reinforcing twice as quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
There's not really much to kind of, you can't really do much against that.
Nope. Because especially with the lava mechanic, like if one Zerg with more bases is going to be so much better than a Zerg with less bases. He's going to pump out everything so much faster.
Absolutely, and GENAB is trying to take that third back, but those three infestors are still lurking around.
Yep, just sneakily sitting there, collecting energy, ready to drop a whole bunch more infested Terrans. I mean, look at
Singularity's up.
Yeah, that harvester count that is looking very even at the moment.
Yeah, I was surprised about that. I saw that before. It was like 36 to 39.
And now we're up to high 40s for both players. So even though Singularity's got the more bases, at least the economy of both players is relatively even.
The thing that Singularity has going for him is that his drones are split across kind of 2.5 mining bases as opposed to 1 and 1 long distance mining right now.
Yep. Yeah, he's definitely going to be bringing in a lot more resources per minute than GENAB. And it looks like Singularity's going to push down on this third. It's just about to hatch, but I think he's going to put an end to that.
That was extremely well timed.
Yeah.
There's so many banelings here too. There's like 20 plus.
Yeah, these banelings are going to be, the baneling roach infestor here is going to be more than enough to take care of those defending hydras. He might even just leave that third and sort of try and push in here for the win, because I think his army at this point is definitely enough to seal this game. And it looks like that even might be what he's doing. GENAB's even bringing he's bringing drones into the fight, which is something you never want to do. Drones do like no damage at all, and now taking terrible damage. Going to lose that natural, and GENAB there calling the GG.
Absolutely, well played to both players. It was definitely one of the crazier ZVZs I've seen for a while.
Yeah, there's some backstabs and bases going down and back up all over the shop. GENAB, well played, sir. And there we go, that game is officially over. So that second game going to Transmax, who, like we said before, also took the first game of this match. So yeah, Transmax will advance onto the quarterfinals next week. And that's all she wrote for Nightfly. So thank you very much, guys, for playing, and thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you next week.
Cheers, guys.